Red Bull's Max Verstappen won the Miami Grand Prix despite starting the race from 9th. So come with me and find out how I rated all the drivers' performances over the weekend in Florida. We'll kick things off with the race winner. Max Verstappen gets a 4. He was blisteringly quick all weekend and made a mockery of the other teams by slicing through the field in the early laps. But that quali error denied the Dutchman a perfect weekend. He did win, so is he happier now? Next is Fernando Alonso. The Spaniard gets a 4. He was best of the rest behind the Red Bull pair. He was probably crossing his fingers for a collision, but it never came and he was condemned to only P3. George Russell also gets a 4. He delivered a slick race. He picked his battles and made his strategy work for him. Pole sitter Sergio Perez gets a 3.5. He did the lap in quali to benefit from the red flag, but the strategy worked against the Mexican and he was powerless to resist his teammate who was coming by on fresher tyres. Esteban Ocon is up next and he also gets a 3.5. He executed the longer strategy pretty well and backed up his teammate in P9. And talking of his teammate, Pierre Gasly also gets a 3.5. He was always going to fall back from his lofty grid slot, but a solidly driven race for P8 was very handy when McLaren scored absolutely no points. Haas's Kevin Magnussen also gets a 3.5. He produced a great lap in qualifying and battled for every position, which was really nice to see. It could have been easier for him to run his own race and let faster cars by, but it was a very, very well earned P10. 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton gets a 3. He bounced back from a poor quali where he only qualified in 13th and he recovered nicely. His late charge was particularly enjoyable. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz gets a 2.5. He delivered a sensible weekend but never looked likely to threaten Red Bull, and that pit lane speeding penalty was a bit silly. That kind of wrecked his race. Yuki Tsunoda gets a 2.5. Again, he put in another very decent race. Alex Albon also gets a 2.5, a decent job from the Thai driver. It was nice to hear him challenging the team on the radio, saying he disagreed with how much they were asking him to push the tyres. Really feels like he's taking the lead at Williams. Charles Leclerc gets a 2. He was in the wall twice and made next to no progress in the race, finishing where he started in 7th. Alfa Romeo's Valtteri Bottas comes next. He also gets a 2. He appeared set to challenge Kevin Magnussen for 10th, but he actually fell behind Tsunoda, so that was quite baffling in the end and disappointing for Bottas. Nico Hulkenberg gets a 2 as well. He failed to match K-Mag in qualifying for the first time this year and it cost him a shot of points for me. Next we have the McLaren pair of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Up first is Norris, he gets a 1.5. McLaren were absolutely nowhere and even Lando's ability couldn't drag the car forwards. As for Oscar Piastri, he also gets a 1.5. He battled a long brake pedal to finish a lowly P19. Zhou Guanyu at Alfa Romeo also gets a 1.5. He was off his teammates' pace all weekend. Lance Stroll gets a 1.5. He was eliminated in Q1. He didn't make progress in the race. Weekends like this give the anti-strollers a lot of ammunition. Nick de Vries gets a 1.5. I mean, is this the same chap who won Formula 2 and Formula E World Championships? And rounding things off is hometown hero Logan Sargeant. He gets a 1.5. It wasn't the home race he was looking for as he finished last as everyone finished the race. So those are my driver ratings. Tell me in the comments if you disagree with any of them. But for now, here is the top half of the average drivers ratings for the season, where Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon have moved up to. And now the bottom half, where we'll find both Ferrari drivers. As always, leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Grand Prix content, and thanks very much for watching.